Hello and welcome to part D of the second episode of Ukulele Jam Kit. Today we're going to work on a brand new riff that's meant to be played over the 1-4-5-1 chord progression in F major that we've been working on in this month's Jam Kit. If you haven't seen parts A, B, and C, please check them out in the description below and you can make sure that you're all caught up as we go now into our riff. Let's go ahead and dive into our riff, and it's going to look something like this when it's written out in tab. Now, so that we can hear it when it's played with the tab, it should sound something like this. Pretty cool, right? You'll notice, though, that the first measure, and the second, and the third, and even the fourth measure all have what are called a hammer-on in it. Now, a hammer-on is one of my favorite techniques to include in my solos because of its unique sound. To do this technique, though, what you do is with your playing hand, you strike the string only once, and using your fretting hand, you're actually going to hammer on the finger into that next fret. So if you look at measure 1, the 0 on the C goes to the 2 on the C with the hammer on. So I'm going to pluck the 0 on the C with my playing hand, and then I'm going to use my middle finger here on my fretting hand to hammer into it. Now, the trick to a good hammer-on is making sure that you're using the tip of the pad of the finger. It really helps make sure that you get a good tone. So if you're finding that you're doing the hammer-on all the way down here, it's not going to sound very good. We want to be right at the tip of the finger. And also make sure that when you're doing the hammer-on, you're getting right up next to that fret wire. If you're right in between, it can be hard to get a good sound. Getting right up to it can help. Last note there is it's really hard to do a hammer-on slow. So it's actually easier to practice this one going a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and try doing the hammer on just the 0 to 2 together ourselves here. So we're going to play open on the C, and then hammer on our middle finger on 2 of the C. With practice, it gets easier. So let's go ahead and try learning the riff now. Let's start with measure 1. And here on measure 1, we're going to play open on the C, hammer on the middle finger to 2 on the C. Then we're going to take our index finger, play it on 1 of the E string, play open on the A, hammer on with our ring finger to 3 on the A, play the open A. And that is measure 1. So that should sound something like this in time. A little slow though. 3 and 4 and. Going now into the second measure, what we want to look at is playing our 2 on the C string with our middle finger here. Then our 1 on the E string with our index. Open on the A, and then hammer on with the 1 on the A to the first fret there using the index finger. So we have 2, 1, 0, hammer on to 1, take that finger back off for the open A, and then 1 on the E to finish that off. So that sounds something like this on measure 2, 3 and 4 and. Going into measure 3 now, we're going to start with a hammer-on, open on the E string, and then do a hammer-on with our index finger on the first fret of the E string. Then we're going to play 3 on the E. And then I like to actually use my ring finger and just collapse it to play the 3 on the A. So you see that I'm just taking it and collapsing it in a little bit of a bar there to get that 3 on the A. Then 1 on the A string with my index finger, open on the A. Then ring finger on 3 of the E. So measure 3 is something like this. 3 and 4 and. And finally, the last measure here, measure 4, pretty much the easiest of this because we're just going to play the 1 on the E with our index. And then we're going to do the same 0, 2 with our middle finger on the C string second fret that we did at the beginning of the solo, followed by 1 on the E by itself. So measure 4 in time is something like this. 3 and 4 and. So that we can hear it in its entirety, I'm going to play it nice and slow. I'm going to go through it twice here, and then we'll try it with the backing track. But let's try it nice and slow to start. 3 and 4 and. Again. So now let's go ahead and try playing this with the jam track that includes the strum pattern that we worked on in the earlier episode. And there you have it. We now have a new riff to go along with our chord progression, scale, and strum pattern taught in the first 3 parts of this jam kit. If you'd like to download an MP3 of that jam track that we were just playing with, along with a PDF that covers each one of these parts of the different sections, be sure to check out my Patreon page. It's really thanks to my patrons I'm able to create this content, and in addition to the Ukulele Jam Kit series, I do a new tutorial every month that's voted on by the patrons. It's pretty cool. Last month we did the Girl from Ipanema. Can't wait to see what people think up for next month. So if you haven't already checked it out, it's down the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please give this video a like and click that subscribe button. I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time here on Ukulele Jam Kit. Thanks so much and take it easy.